Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Taper's Barber Life, the podcast where we keep it real about the culture, the craft, and the business of barbering. In this section, Legends Behind the Chair, today we've got a true industry icon, someone who has mastered the art of barbering, education, and innovation. He's the North American artistic team lead for Andis Clippers, a celebrity barber and a mentor to barbers worldwide. He has worked with some of the biggest names in the entertainment and in the entertainment industry and set the standard for precision cutting. Kenny continues to push the culture forward through education and elite craftsmanship. Please welcome Mr. Kenny Duncan. Yeah,
Bro,
yes,
where
sir.
you get those words from, bro? He's a wordsmith out here, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Um, congratulations on first of all on your Eagles doing their thing Super
Yes,
Bowl
sir.
Sunday.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. So tell me this: what inspired you to become a barber, and how did your journey start?
So I'm gonna start out by saying quality relationships are worth more than money. And I say that because I didn't want to be a barber, but relationships I had with different people motivated me to assimilate my life into theirs. A good friend of mine named Quill, he was the first person that showed me how to cut his hair down. He was a barber at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had only had a little bit of experience cutting hair because of while in grade school, went to the barber shop to get a haircut for picture day. And being a young man with a lot of facial hair, the guy charged me $2 extra for my mustache. Mom didn't like that. She thought I stole from her. To solve the problem, she bought a pair of trimmers for me myself so that I can do my own mustache. And she helped me solve another problem that she wasn't aware of, was that the
Mm-hmm.
barber that was cutting me always had my front line crooked. So
Mm-hmm.
now, so now I will go to the barbershop, get a fresh haircut, straighten my front line, then keep my line up tight over time because I was only getting a haircut once every 2 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I believe in the concept of 10,000 hours unlocking a level of mastery. I got my practice and my reps starting at a young age, which allowed me by the time I got to high school to the point where I had the ability to have a work roster because I started working in a barbershop and doing an apprenticeship to end up acquiring my license. So I
Mm-hmm.
was able to have practice early on while in school before
Mm-hmm.
I even catapulted to anything else. But while in high school, I said, I'm only going to cut hair to get me through college. That was
Okay.
it. Went to
Okay.
separate university while still cutting hair. While going to school full time, part time, I was making 36,000 a year being a barber.
Wow. Okay.
So Twin Towers get hit, they evacuate the building. I'm registering for my the beginning of my third semester. I'm third year in college. I had already finished 2 years by this time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
registering for my next classes. I've already changed my major twice. I'm already opening the door to be a celebrity barber, and I'm trying to figure out life or what I really want to do. Do I want to do computer information sciences? Do I want to be an accountant? Do I want to be a barber? I,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Let me just take a
Okay.
semester off, figure out my life, and we'll go from there. Barbering took off from me when I took that semester off. I'm still in that semester off.
Wow. Wow. So what would you say was like that defining moment that helped, shape that path? Like, you know what I'm saying? Was it like a client who came in who changed your life, or did somebody say
No, I
something
don't.
to
I don't
you?
think. I don't think. I think my life was. My life being evolved and changed was more like a faucet with a drip. It wasn't one person, one relationship. I like to just say relationships are worth more than money because it was many different relationships. It
Mm-hmm.
started off with a client of mine, friend of mine named DJ Active. If it wasn't for him, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have a lot of shoulders to stand on because my first celebrity client that I cut was Music Soul Child as a result of him being Music's DJ. Then I had to lead to my cousin T.Y.'s gospel rapper that had a band. It was T.Y.'s and the bandwagon. And all of the
Mm-hmm.
bandwagon members were all musicians who dedicated their craft so much to music that it locked doors for them to work with a lot of high end artists. So, me being a servant through barbering, serving them, they gave me open doors to be able to work with other celebrities So it allowed
Mm,
for me to build a relationship from T-Wise to Man Man opened the door for me to do John Legend's tour. um
mhm.
it was several different guys that's been a part of the group. My cousin Dell was a drummer for T-Wise. He opened the door for me to cut several different people. And also while serving them, I was getting a lot of reps in too. So
Mhm.
having a community of friends and family that supported what I did opened up doors for me to do other things, because their trust in me was transferred to other people that knew them, and
Mhm.
it just became continued to blossom and grow, become a thing. But honestly
Okay.
speaking, I can list thousands of people that are responsible for everything that people know about what I've been able to accomplish, because the most notable things I'm associated with
Mhm.
are connected and tied to somebody else that isn't as famous, that had trust transferred to me, or has shared their thoughts with me that changed my thoughts. So it allowed me to build on those things. So that's,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Let's back up. You said you went on John Legend's tour.
Yeah.
How many days was that? The
So my way of working with tours was I would never be there every day, because nobody gets a haircut every day. So
okay.
every tour that I worked on, I would fly out every 10 to 14 days, wherever the crew is at. And my job
Oh,
would be to work with the band members, the dancers, etc., and work
okay.
with talent whenever needed. So the tours
Okay.
that I've worked with, Justin Timberlake, I've done Maxwell, I've worked with Adele, worked with Lady Gaga, Jennifer Hudson, Janet Jackson. There's a lot of people that I got a chance
Wow.
to work closely with as a result of the musicians that frequent my barbershop, who are my
Right.
friends and family that open doors.
Wow. That's crazy because you've worked on all of these tours, and the average person doesn't think, okay, Ladies Gaga drummer, he's going to need a haircut at some point. You know what I mean? Why can't I do it? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. So here's how it happens. When tours go from city to city, the people that there's crews and everybody that works and everybody hits that stage, they're all traveling too. The question is, can they afford to have a barber or their personal barber travel with them? Because individuals go on a tour for 6 to 9 months. So
Right.
6 to 9 months for not seeing your barber, you're going to many different barbers around the world. Now, here's a challenge. Your confidence gets shot when you end up getting a bad haircut.
Right.
So now it's worth it for you to find the right person or people that have the ability to travel to you as you're going to different cities, so that you can have a high level of self-esteem when you hit that stage. Because how
Gotcha.
you look affects how you feel, and how you feel affects how you perform. So because the energy and the chemistry and the performance need to be right, people need to feel confident about how they look when they hit that stage. I've
Right.
solved that problem, being somebody who not just can be there for the guys with curly hair, but I can be there for the guys with straight hair as well, who probably don't even want a haircut, but probably need their hair blow dried and styled, and a little bit texture
Mhm.
added to the hair so it could look good for the stage. So being a
Okay.
multicultural clipper cutter and training under sitting under mentors' feet over the years to help make sure that I'm adding things to my repertoire, so that I can have be ready for the opportunity when it does present itself. Those are the things that allow for me to be chosen to be a part of those things, because I wasn't just one dimensional to be able to serve just a couple black guys on the tour, but some of the Spanish guys, some of the Caucasian guys, some of the European guys that don't even identify with being white.
Right.
Hey, I'm from Greece. I don't know what you're talking about. So
Right.
like
Right.
there's a bigger world than how we try to segment just the white and black. And
Hmm.
I had the perspective of respecting other cultures, and my experience at Temple University helped me do that.
Mm.
University was a melting pot. Now, all the schools I'd gone to prior to that one were all heavily African American. So the only thing I knew growing up was our culture. But Temple was a culture shock for me, because it exposed me to people from all over the world. I had a classmate that I had to do a lot of work with that was from Pakistan.
Hmm.
And when I looked at his life being different, at first I thought it was funny. My immature side of me thought it was funny. Anything different was funny. Yo, why you doing stuff like that? But
Right.
then as I got closer, I got a chance to see his daily practices and see his family structure. I started to learn the reasons why certain things were done. And then I'm looking at my family like, why don't we do that?
Right. Right. Right.
Things
Okay.
aren't as funny no more when you see how effective and efficient certain things are. So learning to
Right.
respect differences and appreciate the highlights of other ways of doing things, all help prepare me for these moments to be able to thrive in those moments. And I can't say that I've earned those things all by myself. Those are all byproducts of all the people that help shape me and give me different viewpoints on the same things in life.
Okay. Tell me, when just to go back to the tour, did you ever have a client on that tour who wanted his hair cut like a little extra? Like if the average person gets his hair every 2 weeks, like somebody on the tour was like, I need my hair cut every 3 days or something like that.
So I haven't experienced that with the tours because the crew that I'm working with weren't responsible for dictating the schedule. That would be
Okay.
production. So I
Okay.
worked the way whereas I wasn't getting paid from each individual person that
Okay.
I would cut the hair. The production themselves would pay for flight, hotels, and my fees for me actually working, and it worked out a lot easier because I told a lot of my friends I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna find a way to cut your hair for free for the big stage," and we did just that by making sure that other people were paying for it, and it worked out for everybody.
Ah,
So they weren't able to dictate the schedule, but over the years, there I have experienced some certain individuals wanting to be groomed often because of how often they're in front of the camera,
right.
and typically it has to do with facial hair.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather
Gotcha.
you do my facial hair than me do it because the way you do it
Right.
looks better. So those things have happened.
Okay. Tell me one piece of advice you wish you had received when you started barbering.
Hmm. Value the people and not just the haircut.
Okay.
The 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 mentors I had early on said that successful barbers do sharp haircuts. So
Right.
early on, I focused all my effort and energy onto how to do a great haircut.
Hmm.
And what I can say now is that I evolved as a man because of doing those great haircuts. Because what happened was I actually was really seeking validation through the compliments and the tips of what happens when you do a dope haircut, and that was more fuel than was the cash that I received. I can say that now. I didn't know it then, but literally, when you ask somebody over and over again, "What's your why?" and then you have to keep doing some soul searching, that will be the driving force behind it. But I wish that I would have spent more time with all the thought leaders that I got a chance to be around. I
Hmm.
wish I would have spent more time focusing on the conversations and not just the haircut. I'm gonna give you an example of one conversation I wish I had dove deep more into. Um, with me being tied to a lot of musicians and friends have friends and they're going to refer some of the guys to you. I get a text from a guy named Greg that says, "Hey, Adam referred me to you and I want to know if you have an opening this weekend to get a haircut. I just so happen to have a Saturday at 6 open." I told him Saturday at 6. Now keep in mind, Greg and Adam are so common of names. I have no clue who Adam is and I have no clue who Greg is. What I
Right.
do know is you want to pay me and I have an opening.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Right.
Cool. So what took place was Greg comes into the barbershop, smooth old head, looking like he's floating into the barbershop, super cool, and we have a decent conversation. But I don't dig deep into the conversation because I was more worried about the haircut. I did ask him, "Hey," I said, "where's home for you?" Because obviously you're not from here. Or who you and I asked him who's your typical barber? Basic questions.
Hmm.
Told me where he's from, told me who his barber is that he usually goes to. So I say, "Okay, what brings you into Philly?" He tells me the Cirque du Soleil. Okay. Now I just changed the subject about to talk about his haircut. So how do you want it? The standard third, woo wop, woo wop, focus on the haircut for a while. Now after
Hmm.
15 minutes of silence, because I'm diving deep into the haircut, I finally asked him, "Hey, so I never been to a Cirque du Soleil. Tell me about it." He said, "Well, it's like having a concert without having the artist there and making it feel like the artist is there." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Change the subject again. Focus on the haircut. Is this low enough? Hey, this is how you want to take your temples finished off. Da-da-da-da. Then
Hmm.
randomly, a couple minutes later, "So what concert are you what artist are you replicating this concert with?" And he goes, "Oh, Michael Jackson." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh
Right?
shoot.
So listen. So in my mind, I'm like, "Okay, how do you replicate a Michael Jackson concert without having a king of pop there. Like that's crazy. So I said,
Right.
so how do you do that one? He says, well, what we do is we make sure that everybody who's there as a part of it actually played and been a part of actual tours and played with the actual artists. I'm like, okay, now pause for a second. My history with musicians has been this one. A lot of people exaggerate. So you might
Right.
have somebody who's just like a sound tech, which in layman's terms means that they set up somebody's drums and that was it. Like they
Right.
never hit the stage. They just, so
Right.
somebody say that they was a sound tech to fill them for somebody one time can actually say, hey, I was a part of the tour, right?
Right.
So I don't know why I jumped straight to okay. Like that was my response. And I just changed the subject, talked about hair again, and
Mm-hmm.
focused on the details. Hey, do you like this? It was cool, this and third. He's like, man, this is great. I'm doing my job and I'm doing my job well. But as a young man who had an amazing thought leader in my chair, I had a poor communication and poor conversation that didn't allow me to really unlock the opportunity to get nuggets of wisdom from a legend. Here's who
Mm.
this guy is. Gentleman's full name is Greg Philligames, and
Mm.
I don't know who he is by name like that. So I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Right. Right.
My next client is a guy named Justin Faulkner, who's a classically trained jazz drummer, and he's going to Berkeley, so he's uh, a fanatic when it comes to music history. So I tell him that my friend Adam, which is Adam Blackstone, he's a world-renowned bass player and music staffer. You probably have known his work because of the last six halftime shows of Super Bowl. He was responsible for directing the music for it. He's handled the Oscars. He was there when Chris Rock got slapped. Like, like
Mm.
he's
Okay.
he's he's that level of musical director because every big award show he's there for it. So this makes sense that this will be his friend,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I'm disconnected from all of this one because I still don't know who Adam is and I still don't know who
Mm-hmm.
Greg is, and I don't find out until after Greg leaves. So Justin tells
Wow.
him, I say, hey, do you know a guy named Greg? Greg something. Adam referred this guy named Greg, and this guy gonna tell me that he played with Michael Jackson. He was like, hold up,
Right.
hold up, hold up. He said, Greg Philly Games was here? I said, yo, he just left. He's like, why didn't you call me? I said, what are you talking about? He says,
Wow.
you don't know Mouse? You don't know Mouse? I said, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, Mouse is the one responsible for all the hits that Michael had, bro. Like, he's a musical Jesus. Like, he's that guy. I'm like, and I just had him
Wow.
here. All I know is how he wants his haircut.
Wow. That's crazy,
Crazy,
man.
right? Crazy.
And man. Okay, let's flip over to Andy's. Tell me this. What makes, well, first of all, how did you get started with Andy's and what year?
So February 20th, 2005 is where it started for me. Um,
Okay.
and it started prior to that one. I'm a big boxing fan, and I
Mm-hmm.
always had the mindset of if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So when people in Philly were calling me the best barber in Philly, I never believed them because I didn't beat anybody. So my
Okay.
perspective was I'm going to join a barber competition to see where I rank at amongst my peers so that I can actually determine where I really am. So I went to Atlanta to join a barbering competition there that was sponsored by Andis, and that's how it started. Now
Mm-hmm.
I had the mentality that, hey, I'm going to figure out where I rank at, put it on my resume, and then submit to different companies to see if they need any representation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Ivan Zoot, which is a mentor of mine, was going to say at the end of the competition that, hey, the winner of this competition is going to have an opportunity to rep the Andis company for 1 year.
Mm.
So in February 2000 February of 2006, my time with Andis was supposed to expire because it's no question I actually won that barber competition, and it allowed me to see where I ranked at, but it also allowed me to see where I was deficient at or where my flaws were. Because
Mm.
at that time, I was a specialist at short texture hair, um, and I didn't have the skill set or the practice enough to be able to do many other different things.
Okay.
So if it wasn't for me working with Andis, being challenged to actually add additional skill sets under my onto my tool belt, I wouldn't have been prepared for those musical tours when they came because
Mhm.
of me being forced to shadow Ivan Zoot being able to transition from learning how
Oh.
to cut hair with attachment combs to now how to cut hair using clipper overcomb. I would not have my own line of combs, the K Duncan comb collection, if it wasn't for Ivan Zoot challenging me to get outside of my comfort zone to do better at cutting hair by adding additional skills to my tools, my tool belt.
Yo, that is so, that's crazy, man.
Hmm.
Your mentor
Hmm.
who taught you straight hair, you
Hmm.
know, you could get anybody to help you, but your mentor was Ivan Zoot, a freaking legend,
Hmm.
and he mentored you, and you're a legend. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. So here's what happened. People don't understand the secret to success is depositing into the lives of your mentors. The people who you want to learn from, be an asset to them. So where I was an
Mm,
asset, Ivan Zoot was the man when it comes to Andis. And what he did was he booked
mm,
a lot of shows. I was the guy that really filled in for Ivan whenever he double booked themselves. Whenever he
mm.
ducked the book themselves, people were expecting to have a clipper cutting class on clipper over comb and how to do a flat top. Keep in mind, I don't do flat tops clipper over comb at this
Mhm,
point in time. And you
mhm,
want me to go to the middle of each blip to actually do
mhm.
a class that expecting you to walk in to do clipper over comb on a flat top. Okay, I need to get this. I need to get this down. So for years, I've earned my stripes actually filling in the gaps for where he couldn't necessarily do because of him growing, him developing. Like we all know, Ivan has been at every event you can think of related to barbering. And
Mhm.
even to this day, he excels at being the best speaking educator where he can break down how you can build your barber business off of a pack of Sanic strips.
Right, right,
Like he can
right.
tell you how much you've made by how many neck strips you've used. And
Ah,
yeah,
mhm.
so hats off to Ivan for who he is and what he's done. And I know for a fact that without having that them set of shoulders to stand on, there's things that I wouldn't be able to experience today.
Wow. Tell me something. As an educator, was there a moment early on where you said, "Okay, this is this is big." Like maybe a country you were teaching at where you were like, "Wow, I can't believe I got here through Clippers."
I went to Mexico to judge a barber competition and to
Mhm.
host a class. Me, Angel Rawls, a guy named Oscar Walls. So it's Angel Raw and Oscar Walls. Were the
Mhm.
people I were with at the show. It's called the Mexico Barber Bash. And
Mhm. They
as
still do it.
I believe so.
Okay.
And I'm there representing Andis. And as I'm judging the barber competitions, one of the things we had to do was double check the tools that they're using and see if they're sanitary.
Mhm.
When I seen that there were people in Mexico using my K Duncan collection combs to do their competition cuts, in my mind, all right, I know my tools are in Philadelphia. I have the belief that they're in certain other cities inside the United States. My tools are in Mexico. People have my tools in Mexico.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
Mm, mm,
That's
mm.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Most recently, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. This is the first time
What?
I'm telling this story too, so publicly anyway. I recently started cutting a guy named Drewski. He has a barber in Atlanta named Gino the Barber. He takes care of him all the time. But you know, with any client that's traveling around a lot, sometimes their schedule with their regular barber doesn't always line up. So he came to Philadelphia. A current client of mine, Paul George, actually made a recommendation. So I ended up cutting here in Philly. And then from there, we go straight to New Orleans to go for the Super Bowl. I'm there doing a pop up shop with CAA. And I let them know, hey, I'm going to be in New Orleans next week. Yo, if you need to cut while out there, let me know. Boom. So I ended up cutting him twice that week. All right.
Mhm.
Now keep in mind, Drewski's a funny dude, super funny, down to earth. We hit it off cool, and we had some funny experience. I mean, experiences. First experience that was funny when I cut him in Philly. I was showing him my collaboration clipper that wasn't out at the time yet. I was showing it to him, and the funny thing is, after I finished cutting him, I was going to cut one of his friends, and he walked off with the clipper because he thought I was giving it to him. He's like, "Man, this is cool. This is cool." I said, "Bro, I need to finish your friend."
Oh man.
Like, that was number one. Number two
Oh man.
was When I cut him in New Orleans, the first time I went to cut him in his hotel room. Everything worked out smooth. And then on the day of the Super Bowl, he wanted another haircut. So I'm cutting him in the same spot I cut him just a couple days ago. When I
Okay.
walked in on a counter, I seen my comb, my K Duncan collection by Vincent Combe. So I said
What?
to him, I looked, I was like, hey, bro, that's my comb. He was thinking something different when I said that's my comb. He says, "No, bro, listen, my barber from Atlanta, he gave me that comb, but it's not that serious. If you want the comb, you can have it, bro." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. That's my comb." He says, "Bro, no, it's not. It's not your comb." I'm like, "Bro, listen to what I'm telling you. Like, it's crazy that you have my comb." He's like, "Bro, it's not that deep.
Oh
It's not
man.
that deep." So then I went in my bag and then I pulled out one of my fresh combs that still had the name on it. I said, "No, this says K Duncan Collection Comb. I'm not saying you stole my comb. I said it's crazy that I'm cutting your hair and you've already had my comb."
Oh man. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Man.
Crazy. Yo, once he got it, he started laughing. It was like, yo, this is wild. Yo.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a
That's
great experience.
crazy. Man.
That's
I'm
something I couldn't have bought that in the store, bro.
right, right. In fact, I need to get some of those combs, man, for real. But tell me, what's your favorite Andes clipper and trimmer? Two-part question. What's your favorite?
So I think the funniest thing is you we only gonna talk about a clipper. So
Okay, there
but
you go.
the favorite clipper is the Kenny Duncan edition of the MV2.
Mm.
That's my favorite clipper at this particular
Oh
point.
man, that looks sweet too.
Performance wise, I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite. Um, Same power as the master, fits all the different master blades, comes with a 28 tooth cutter blade that's ceramic that cuts smooth and quiet. So it's a light tool that's quiet that fits all the master blades and has the power of the master as well. So lighter, strong, and always as versatile, and it's cord and cordless. Now, the other things that I
Oh,
like about this
sweet.
tool is that this particular artwork was designed by former barber, current artist Chuck Styles, which is also my cousin. The
Ah,
thing that I want to highlight is that the artwork on this tool is called the Blueprint to Greatness. Hidden within the artwork, outside of it just looking cool from a distance, hidden within the artwork is what I consider to be the four elements that need to be practiced for anybody to unlock a level of greatness within no matter what discipline you're doing. So those nuggets are inside the box on the tool. There's a booklet inside that tells you the whole particular story. And right now, that's my favorite clipper.
okay. Now let me tell you three reasons why I'm going to buy that immediately. One, you said it has the same power as the master.
Yes, sir.
Two is cord and cordless.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And three, the artwork was done by Chuck Styles. That's all. That's it. I'm definitely getting them joints. Okay. So, what's your favorite trimmer?
So right now the Andis GTX EXO with M Force is my
Okay.
favorite trimmer. Now here's the thing. I will tell you, Andis does have some new tools that will be dropping soon that I can't say nothing about just yet. But we're
Okay.
right there. We're right there. So the world is about to find out now. So I've been working with some other tools that Andis has under the umbrella of being a prototype, and I'm still going back to my GX my Andis GXO with the Enforced blade on it. The Enforced blade is the black blade. The body's
Hmm.
been around for a while. We've known it whether it be the black or gray with the gold blade, but the
Hmm.
black blade is new technology. There's a patent on it. Magnets keep the blade together. And here's what happens. Um, for those that are clipper enthusiasts, especially when it comes to their trimmers, you
Hmm.
know that anytime you had the cutter blade that's pushing it against a stationary blade with springs, it rocks a little bit. So what happens is when it rocks a little bit, sometimes one end can scratch while the other end may not because the
Hmm.
blades don't really move straight. It has a small rock to it. It's a small way to see it, but
Hmm.
it makes a difference when you're doing precision outlining. The magnetic tension allows the straightest moving blades that are on the market because magnets pull each other with strong force. but they
Mm-hmm.
slide very easy. It's hard to pull them apart, but they slide very easily. So because of that, and along with the blade glide, this blade is the straightest moving trimmer blade that Andis makes. So it's that technology that makes me like that particular trimmer the most because
Mm-hmm.
straight out the box, Andis has been able to minimize the gap because of how straight the blades move, and they don't have to compensate for the rock that's taking place with the previous style trimmers.
Hmm.
Follow me?
Okay. Okay.
So if you see any of the videos on my Instagram right now, you will see when I do a close up of using the trimmer, I can use a close cutting trimmer on a kid, and a kid not jump on my chair, but still get the close cutting performance because it's not cutting skin, but it is cutting hair at a with a small tight gap, and it's more consistent than any of the other trimmers that we've ever sold because of that technology inside that blade.
Okay. Well, tell me this because I just had this idea. You do a webinar on, and you get a client with the full beard, and you cut his beard, sculpt it like how you do, and you do a webinar, a paid webinar. That's money. That's money. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You
I
doing a web, you know what I'm saying? What you think
I
about that?
so here's the thing. I love education.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Decorated as an educator. But in this season of my life, the things that get me most excited is giving back to the community.
Okay.
2025 for me is all about greatness through giving. And
Okay.
I'm focusing on my nonprofit, which is Barbers Who Care. So a lot of my effort, energy, and time has been pushed to that. So I'm either working to earn and balancing my relationship with the 76ers, my relationship with Andis, and my relationship with Jimmy Butler, and then also focusing on my nonprofit, which is Barbers Who Care. Barbers Who Cares is growing to be more in the forefront now because I'm doing national campaigns now. This is the first year I've taken it
Mm.
outside of just my city and focused on going national. So finding the time to do the webinar of the beer sculpting will be a challenge because it's
Okay.
not even in the forefront of my mind. In order for me to do it, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna have to happen.
What's that?
Andis is going to have to be convinced that that's something they do, so that they have to tell me that this is what I need to do in order to maintain my contract. B, you
Mm-hmm.
structure it, and you structure all the things. Figure out a date. Or I just have to just show up because anything short of that one, all my brain power is going towards how I can incorporate and how I can encourage barbers globally to be
Mm-hmm.
great on purpose by joining Barbers Who Care and focusing on meeting the needs of the community as a group.
Okay.
That's my emphasis for this year.
Well, I'm gonna do that. And also,
Oh yeah,
I
you're in Atlanta, right?
yeah.
So what we have in the campaign we have in Atlanta, we're helping raise money for a student with through the core program, which is a nonprofit in Atlanta. We're
Mm-hmm.
helping raise money for a student who will be chosen through the core program to be able to have a full scholarship to go to Pro Fresh Barber Academy in Atlanta.
Okay.
So click the link on my bio. I want to see your name and your shop as one of the barbershops that's collecting themselves together through the umbrella Barbers of Care to help do stuff for the community of Atlanta.
I got you.
You
I'm
do
there.
that, guess what's going to happen?
Okay.
I'm incentivizing barbers who are helping me fundraise by giving them a care package. There's a custom cape done by Illusions that has the same artwork that's on the Clipper, and then the red Kenny Duncan combs through Vincent would be given that way as a care package to all the barbers who help me fundraise through the
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit Barbers Who Care. So
I'm
you
doing
don't necessarily have to go buy it. If you feel
right.
as though your network can help raise money
Right.
for your own community, then we tapped in.
Okay. Hey, I'm there. I'm there. Um, what would you say the biggest mistake barbers make when using their tools?
Hmm. Well, the biggest mistake will be not understanding the fullness of what the tools can do. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be the biggest mistake. And the reason I say this is because we buy tools not knowing what they're best used for, and then using it for
Mm-hmm.
something it's not designed to do, and then saying that it doesn't work as good. Like for
Mm.
instance, I'm not going to do a class, but I'm gonna break down something real quick and simple. If somebody's doing a quality fade, and they're using a clipper that has a 22 tooth cutter blade, but then they see somebody finish a haircut that's using a tool with a 28 tooth cutter blade, and they're asking the question, why doesn't their fade look as good? The spacing of your teeth affects the tension, and the tension that your teeth grab the hair with affects your precision. So it's not the technique, it's the tool, and you didn't understand what tool you were using. So
Hmm.
understanding the tools and understanding the techniques will increase the value of your talents.
Okay. You are a master barber, and I appreciate this little advice you gave me years ago at the DC Barber Expo. I was going to start shampooing my clients, and you recommended the shampoo based on the ingredients. And I bought that shampoo, made a world of difference. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A world of difference. So, um, number one, I'm gonna need those ingredients again because I ran out. But yeah, I can tell you get a happy feeling when you're able to, help educate. Well, to be an educator, period.
True, true, true. And that comes from childhood. Uh, my
Hmm.
experience in life is that things that I haven't deserved or haven't earned, people gave me, whether it be insight or opportunities, and that helped me experience a life that I wouldn't have gotten access to just based on what my upbringing was. So
Hmm.
if people did it for me, then I find joy in doing that for others. And the ingredients that we're talking about within the shampoo is that baseline for any men with texture hair, serving guys with texture hair. Moisture is going to be with the thing that you want to keep in the hair, so you want to have a sulfate-free shampoo. But more
Yeah.
specifically, the ingredients that we're talking about with that particular one that we had was a charcoal mint shampoo that helps detoxify the hair versus stripping all the oils. And like some people like to use straight deep cleansing shampoos to strip everything out. That causes your clients to end up having an environment that can easily cause dandruff because or dry scalp because we're removing all the oils from the scalp without replacing them back. But if you
Hmm.
use a product that doesn't strip it out, but yet still cleans and detoxifies, you'll have the best of both worlds, keeping the moisture, but yet at the same time, thoroughly clean hair.
Okay. Because barbers today, especially young barbers, they want that ash line. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Oh, they don't want the
And
X on no more. They're using the pencil now. They using the pencil now. They just figure out the cheat code. They say, I'm not going to clean up nothing. I'm just going to take out a pencil and draw it on.
wow, and that's crazy. So speaking of that, how do you feel with the enhancement versus the non-enhancement barbers? How do you feel about that whole subject?
Be the best at whatever you do. My perspective is learn how to do a great haircut without it, then learn how to do a great haircut with it on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with the barbers who don't do great looking haircuts without enhancements, getting mad at the barbers who do great haircuts with enhancements and only say that it's the enhancements that's causing haircut look great. The barber who doesn't use enhancements can rival a barber who does use them if the haircut is dope without it.
Right.
But on the flip side, some people use enhancements, they rely on enhancements so much that the haircuts can either blow away or wash away, and then they only giving out 1 day haircuts. So
Mm-hmm.
both need each other.
Okay.
Barbers need to have the ability to do a fire haircut without adding anything to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then know how to add something to it to make it look just that much better, but still make sure that the foundation is strong so that even when that's gone, the haircut is still fire.
Okay. Okay. So I heard you say you had some celebrity for the 76ers. Can you repeat that for those who might have missed it?
Well, I don't just work with just one person. So I
Okay.
am the official team barber and I have a barbershop at the practice facility. So anybody who
Oh.
cycles through the Sixers organization, whether it be coaches, players, etc., have an opportunity to get a haircut by me that the team pays for. So I
Ah.
had that opportunity, and it's been earned over time through my relationship with some key individuals. But my job is to continue to just earn the trust of the people that I serve so that they can continue to have trust transferred. I've been there
Mhm.
8 years,
Okay.
and my career as a barber, an NBA barber, has lasted longer than the average NBA player, which is 3.5
Mm.
years.
Wow.
Yep.
So do you get invited to the All-Star games too?
So I didn't have any talent work the All Star game this year that I work
Okay.
with, but
Okay.
I typically am there whenever I have a client that's there.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Got you. Okay. Man, your barber life is amazing, bro. Let
Yeah,
me just say
yeah,
is definitely.
yeah.
So, what was your most memorable celebrity or industry experience as a barber?
You guys are not going to the biggest names. I have the least fond memories.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
the individuals that I tend to take a liking to the most are the ones that we have the greatest conversations, and then we can have a great impact both ways.
Okay.
So, um, Justin Anderson, he's in the G League now, one
Mm-hmm.
of my favorite players. Rodney McLeod, he just finished his last year in football playing with the Cleveland Browns, and
Mm-hmm.
then James Bradbury. Um, those three individuals at the top for me. Um, and
Okay.
no, 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 and then Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, um, yes, he's done stuff for me and my family that nobody else has ever done. Um,
Mm.
but we have a great relationship, and he supports me a lot in a lot of things, but we don't have as deep of conversations as I have with James Bradbury. And the reason why he's a part of my list because this felt like this. Not only was I at the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
didn't spend a dime.
Wow.
Seats I was sitting in probably cost the person next to me $7,000 or $8,000. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got a chance to actually be at the official after party, celebrating with my team when they won. When I say
Wow.
that quality relationships are worth more than money, they are. And you'll soon see a video of our conversation that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get a chance to get a glimpse of what our relationship is like. My relationship with him is more, it has nothing to do with the craft of
Mm-hmm.
barbering or the craft of him playing football, but it has
Mm-hmm.
everything to do with us seeing how we can have just great conversations. And we look forward to those great conversations to challenge each other to be great on purpose.
Wow.
Yep.
That's that's great, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. And any well, first of all, where can you still have main attraction?
Yep.
Okay. Now, how long have you had the barbershop?
Since 2003, September 2003 to be more specific.
Wow. Wow. How many barbers?
Right now we have 10 barbers and 3 braiders.
Wow. Now, see, that's a whole podcast right there. Just how you manage the barbershop. And as a barbershop owner, I only have 6 barbers and you got 10. You got to deal with a lot of personalities, right?
True, true, true. I mean that comes with the territory. Um,
Mhm.
I think the blessing is I can't do everything by myself. So there's a lot of opportunities that get passed to the team, and there's a lot of things that they are better than me at. So they get a chance to sign in their own rights for the things that it gets taking place. So there's a collection of barbers and stylists that are operating at a level of greatness within this establishment because of us pushing each other to that one. So I need them just as much as they need me, and how much we need each other to help
Mhm.
push us to that level of greatness. Now, it doesn't work the same with everybody, but for
Mhm.
those that tap in, for those that pay attention, those that take heed, we are as a group experiencing a lot of great things.
Mm. Hey, been there since '03. That's amazing. Well, hey, I thank you again, brother. Any last words for our barber audience?
Go to my link in my Instagram, click on the bio,
Hmm.
hit Barbecue Care, find a campaign to join with because Barbecue Care is going national. and we have a lot of push. I'm sorry. I apologize to Jalix Hunt. I didn't mention his name as one of my favorites of today.
Ah.
We have a campaign going on right now where we're raising money for 40 boys to go to a 3-day college tour that are part of a school called Boys Latin in Philadelphia, all boys school. And I wanted to make sure we did that. Jalix Hunt got fined in the Super Bowl $5,690 for doing the bow and arrow celebration after he ended up having a half sack on Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Rob McElhenney, the director of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, said publicly, "Hey Rob, if this is, hey Jalix, if this is true that you got fined, I'll pay the fine for you." He says, "Don't worry about paying the fine. I'll pay it. But what you can do is you can go support the nonprofit that I found out about from my Philly barber." So he pushed a large amount of people to donate towards Barbers Who Care at the right time. And in a couple days, we will be on Good Morning America talking about the same story, but pointing attention to all the other campaigns that we have in other cities that we
Mm-hmm.
want barbers to become aware of so that we can actually get more barbers involved to be bigger, to think bigger than themselves and to
Mm-hmm.
focus on meeting the needs of their own communities through barbering and through their network of clients that they have.
Got it. Well, I will definitely spread the word, bro. Definitely.
Appreciate that.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Much success, continued success. And hopefully I'll see you at one of these upcoming shows.
I'll see you soon, man. It's always good seeing you, bro. Appreciate
All
you.
right. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Taper.
You have a good one, bro. All right.